The first question I think we had in the packet and on the last test, it says, which statement about statistical analysis is false? So this has to do with cause and effect and also patterns. So any type of statistics, we can be looking for patterns. So both of these are true. So we're going to cross them out. Experiments are the only thing that we can use to determine cause and effect relationships. So that's true, but observational studies cannot be used to determine cause and effect relationships. The next one is the typical regions question. We see it's about difference in means, so we're expecting two groups and seeing if their difference is statistically significant. Kelly performed an experiment to see if planting 18 watermelon plants inside a greenhouse would lead to larger watermelons than if she planted 18 watermelon plants outside. She observed that the average weight of the watermelons from the watermelon plants grown inside a greenhouse was 19 ounces greater. So that's our difference value, or a difference in means that was observed between the two groups. To determine if the observed difference is statistically significant, she randomized the watermelon groups 100 times to study those random differences in the mean weights. The output of his simulation is summarized in the dot plot. I think that should be her. I don't know. We have some, whatever, whichever one it is. Given these results, what is an appropriate inference that can be drawn? So 19 is here. That's 3 out of 100 that are at 19 or over more, so we should be expecting statistical significance. There was no effect observed between the two groups. There was an effect observed that could be due to random assignment of plants to the two groups. Probably not. So there was an effect, definitely. Here, this would mean that we had a 0 for the difference. We don't think it's from random assignment because of it being on the side and not towards the middle. There is strong evidence to support the hypothesis that watermelons planted and grown inside a greenhouse weigh more than those planted and grown outside, and vice versa, outside weigh more than those planted and grown inside a greenhouse. So now we have to read carefully. It's one of these two. Which one grew more? So it looks like the plants grown inside the greenhouse were greater. So we're looking for that one. Grown inside a greenhouse weigh more than those planted and grown outside. So that's going to be choice 2. The next one, up the page or down the page, approximately 1.6 million students took the mean portion or the math portion of the SAT exam. The mean score, the modal score, and the standard deviation were calculated to be 492, 428, and 107 respectively. So first off, it says what interval reflects 95% of the critical reading scores. So this is saying, without saying it, a confidence interval. I don't need the mode, but I do need to do the mean plus or minus 2 standard deviations. Okay, so that's going to be the mean plus or minus 2 times 107. Looks like the mean plus or minus 214. So that's choice 3. The next one, the Freshier Tea Company packs tea in bags. A large number of bags of tea were weighed, and the mean and standard deviation were calculated to be 251 and 1.5. Assuming this data is normally distributed, what is the probability, so there's our norm CDF, that a randomly selected tea bag will weigh between 248 and 252? So we would do norm CDF, that's in the second distribution menu on your calculator, and we would get that the min was 248. The max is 252. Remember, mu means mean, so that's 251. And the standard deviation, and actually it shows sigma there, not SX like we're used to, is 1.5. So if I type that in and press enter, I'm going to get 0.724, and so on. So the next decimals are 757. We'll round it to that. That looks closest to choice 3.